A very good day to all of you. So we are doing the morphology of lexical verbs part 2. Having completed the regular verbs, we are now left with the irregular verbs, the classification of irregular verbs, their characteristics. As you know that irregular verbs do not follow all the norms of the regular verbs. For instance, for irregular verbs, either it is they do not have a predictable past participle. For instance, as you can see on this page, the verb drink, drank, drunk, or find, found, found. So the past participle is not predictable, and even if they have the suffix, the alveolar suffix, they violate the voice rule of voicing, that is a base ending in a voiced sound, a voiced ending can have a voiceless suffix. But this is not the case with regular verbs, where bases have, if the bases have voiced ending, they will have a voiced suffix, and if they have a voiceless ending, they will have a voiceless suffix. So the irregular verbs violates that norm, as in the case of burn, burnt. The regular form is burned, but the irregular verbs, they use the form burnt. The second feature is that there is a variation, though not necessarily, there is a variation of base vowel, as we just saw in this verb, in the two examples, find, found, and drink, drank, drunk. You can see on this page find, found, and write, wrote, written, or choose, chose, chosen. As far as the regular and irregular verbs are concerned, they have a few things common, that is the VS form and the VING form are predictable from the base form. In the previous lecture, we categorized the base form as V and the S form as VS, the progressive form ING form as VING, the past tense form as VED1, and the past participle form as VED2. So we are going to use these these signs or abbreviations in this lecture, during the course of this lecture. So in this case, like the regular verbs, they have VED1 is and VED2 identical, but there is a significant variation regarding both these forms, past and past participle. As you can see from this example, the first case is the verb cut, where all three forms are alike, identical. The base form is cut, the VED1, the past tense is cut, and the past participle is cut. The second case is meet, where VED1 is equal to VED2, that is past tense is equal to past participle, and base form is different, and VED1 is identical with VED2. The third thing is where the base form V is identical with the past participle, that is V is equal to VED2. Come, came, come. And the third case, the last case is where all the forms are different, that is speak, spoke, spoken. All forms are different. So it is it's not that they are always it is always the case that the past and the past participle are identical. There is, as you can see from these examples, there is considerable variation. Now, both spelling and pronunciation cannot be used for classification of irregular verbs into various classes, which is impractical. It is only the pronunciation which is considered for the classification of irregular verbs. And there are three characteristics on the basis of which the irregular verbs are classified into 7 classes. And the first one is the identity of past tense and the past participle. The second one is the suffixation. They have the alveolar suffix, and along with the alveolar suffix, they also have a nasal variant, that is, for example, shaken. The third thing is the base vowel is kept unchanged, so it is on the basis of these 3 features that the irregular verbs are divided into 7 categories, 7 classes. As the first class is, we can take the example of verb like burn, where VED1 is identical with VED2, as is the case for irregular verbs, burn, burnt, burnt. So VED1 is identical with VED2. The base is of course different. There is a suffix, but voicing is variable, and vowel is maintained. Vowel identity is maintained. The base vowel is maintained in all the parts of the verbs. Now here is the complete list of these irregular verbs of class 1. So the next class is class 2, where VED2 is identical with VED1. That is, the past tense is VED1 is identical with VED2. That is, the past tense is identical with past participle. And a very good example of this class is bring. So the base form is bring, and the past tense is brought, and the past participle is brought. So we have VED is identical with VED2. The suffix is there, but voicing is variable. Change of base vowel is there. Bring has a different vowel, and brought they have a different vowel which differs from the vowel that the base form has. So this is the entire list of the verbs of belonging to the second class. As we come to the third class of the verbs, where all three parts, that is VED1 and VED2, are identical, and although there is no suffix, but the base vowel is maintained in all the classes. For example, take the verb cut, take the verb put or hit. There is an entire list of verbs which are just like the examples that we have just used: cut, put, or hit, or cost. So this is all the list of verbs that belong. In this case, all the three forms are identical. The only thing is that they don't have a suffix, or the change of base vowel is not there. Base vowel is maintained for all the three forms of the verbs. So these are the verbs of class 3. Then coming to the class 4. Here the past tense is identical with past participle. There is no suffix. There is no suffixation, and change of base vowel is there. For example, let's take the case of verb meet, where met is the past tense, and met is also the past participle. So VED1 is identical with VED2. Suffixation is not there, but there is a change of base vowel. Vowel in the base form is different from the vowel that is there in the VED1 and in VED2. So there's a list of all the verbs are listed which belongs to this belong to this class 4. The next class is 5, where VED1 is regular, but VED2 has two forms, two variants. Remember, I also told you that there may be a nasal variant, that is, we have showed for show, but we also have shown. So we have for mow, we have mowed, but we also have mown. So of course the alveolar suffix is there, but also a nasal variant, that suffix is also there. So this class VED1 is regular. VED2 has two forms, one regular and other nasal. The regular form is of course the ED form, and a nasal form is the irregular form. Of course, it is also used for use in certain cases. Certain regular verbs also it is acceptable, but here we have in this irregular. It is the irregular form. The regular form is the ED1. So this is class 5, and there is a whole list of verbs, just like mow, hew. We have hew, and we have show. So this is the entire list of those verbs belonging to this class. And now we come to class 6, which has some change. Class 6. Now in this case, we have VED1 and VED2 are irregular. The base, the letter always suffixed, and usually with en. Letter, that is the past participle, is suffixed, and as is the case like break, broke, broken. So in this case, there is the base vowel which changes. Now the base vowel, there are 5 criteria. There are 5 features according to which 5 characteristics according to which the base vowel changes. Now the first case is where VED1, that is the past and the past participle, have the same vowel, as is the case in broke and broken. Then we have where V and VED, the base and the past participle, have the same vowel. The third case is all three parts have different vowels. All three parts, the fourth is all three parts have same vowels. And the fifth one is that is VED1 and VED2 have different vowels. So as you can see, the first case is VED1 is equal to VED2, that is past is equal to past participle. They have the same vowels. Broken, broken, they have the same vowels. Break, of course, has a different vowel. In the case of B, like blow, blew, blown, so the base vowel, that is the V form, has the same vowel, which is identical with the past participle, but the past tense has different vowel. And the third case, C, was that all three parts have different vowels. So C case is drive, drive, drove, driven. All the three forms have different vowels. And the D is the one which has all the forms as the same vowel. So D is a beat, beat, beaten, although we have a nasal variant in the last past participle as beaten, but the vowel that is there in the base form is maintained throughout till the past participle. It is the same in the base form, it is the same in the past tense, and it is the same in the past participle. So these are the five features, the five characteristics according to which these base vowels undergo change, or they are maintained as VED1 is identical with VED2, or V is identical with VED2. All three parts are different vowels, or all three parts have the same vowel, or VED1 and VED2 have different vowels. Now coming to the last class of the verbs, that is the seventh class of the irregular verbs. In this case, it is entirely different. VED1 and VED2 are irregular. There is no suffixation, and there is always some change of vowel. For instance, take the case of verb swim, swim, swam, swum. Take the case of drink, drink, drank, drunk. As you can see on this page, begin, began, begun. Drink, drank, drunk. Ring, rang, rung. Shrink, shrank, shrunk. So these are the list of all the verbs in class 7. According to the features, according to our three features, that is the vowel, that is the identity of past and past participle, suffixation, that is the alveolar stop. Along with the alveolar stop, there is a nasal variant. And then there is the base vowel is kept, whether it is kept unchanged or the base vowel changes. These are the three features on the basis of which all these irregular verbs were divided into 7 classes. And so this brings us to the end of the morphology of the irregular verbs. And we will be doing in the next lecture, we'll be doing modal auxiliaries and time, tense, and aspect. Thank you very much.